Your windscreen is adjustable up and down with this button. Go up, down. You do have what's called hill start control as well on this bike.
Sure.
And then the quick shifter function on here, up and down. Just stay on the gas when you kick up.
Sure.
Let off on the throttle when you kick down.
Perfect. Thank you. So here we are on the 2022 BMW K1600B. Bike's been out for a little while now. I've ridden the previous incarnations, enjoyed riding it very much. And really the only thing I wasn't keen on with the original model was the dashboard, was the clocks. The dials were very old-fashioned, kind of reminiscent of the current R18, which is fine if you like that sort of thing. But personally, I'm a digital TFT kind of guy, and currently BMW has the best system in terms of this 10-inch plus TFT screen. And it's beautiful, very easy on the eyes, and as you can see, you can split screen it, so you can have your music, GPS on one side and your regular tachometer and odometer on the left. Very, very nice. Now, I've forgotten how beautifully smooth this bike is. It's like the Goldwing, if you've ridden the Goldwing, a 6-cylinder, as is the Goldwing, but the Goldwing is an opposed 6, a bit like a Porsche 911. This is an inline 6, a bit like my M2 competition car. Very, very thin for an inline 6, and the engine is canted forward about 55 degrees to lower the centre of gravity. Makes about 160 horsepower and about 132 pound-per-feet of torque. So this has ample go in it. So it's creamy smooth throttle response, very beautifully kind of dampened throttle response, and if you open the coals a little bit, she'll shift. Big brakes on it, so able to haul that power up fairly easily. And for a big girl, she steers really well, particularly on new tyres. Like any big heavy bagger, once you put a few miles on her, the rear tyre can get a bit flat, and that will dull the steering slightly. But at present, you know, with this brand new bike, really, it's done 837 miles. It's just about run in, and feels lovely, super smooth. And this truck. So around town at the moment, got the screen down, feeling a little bit of air. It's pretty smooth airflow. Got 58 degrees, so quite nice temperature. If I can get through these lights. And we get left behind on the group ride. A group ride can't tell you everything, because obviously you're restricted to the speed and pace that they go at and the route they go, but at least it gives a pretty good indication if you're used to riding a lot of bikes, as I am. We've got Eric up ahead with the blue stripe on his back there. He's on the S1000RR. Hasn't ridden many BMWs, and that is like, it'll be like a fish out of water to be honest, compared with his Challenger and his Multistrada. It's a very, very different bike, but probably a lot of fun for him. We're going to up the speed a little bit in a minute, so I'm going to put the screen up. Do you know, I'm not sure whether that's better or worse really. It's kind of, I guess we have to get the speed up a little bit to see. Oh, this guy doesn't really know where he's going, does he? What a freaking idiot. To be fair, this is the first ride of the first day of demos, and he's not an employee of the shop. He's an employee of BMW, so I'll cut him a bit of slack. Why not? Certainly revs freely, feels very, very nice, pretty much like I remember. Some more improvements this year. Down here you'll see these numbered buttons, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're for your presets. And you can configure those to things that you use the most, like your heated grips, or invoking your GPS, or your music, or whatever floats your boat. And that is a very nice touch. It saves going through 4 or 5 clicks on your menu. You just press button 1, up comes your heated grips, and you are good to go. Quick shifter's pretty nice on the downshift, absolutely sublime on the upshift, very, very nice, very smooth. as is the case with most 6-cylinder bikes. The more cylinders, the smoother the quick shifters tend to be. Now I believe behind here, maybe telling tales out of school, but I think behind there, when you raise it up, I think you can put your phone, and when you lower the screen it will lock your phone in there, and so when you get off the bike the screen will lower. When you turn off the bike rather, the screen will lower and lock your phone in there, and when you turn on the bike it will remember if you had the screen up and it will raise the screen automatically. I'm pretty sure that's how it works, and that is a nice touch. Mirrors are nice and wide, stylishly shaped, and not adjusted perfectly for me, but they are fine, nice and wide. Bars feel lovely, they're relatively low and they come back to you and very wide, so you get plenty of leverage, and if you're a shorter guy than my kind of 6'1", 6'2", you'd find it pretty easy to reach the bars and steer this bike. Weight wise, haven't even thought about weight, it feels really good. Now there's no such thing as a lightweight heavy weight bagger, but when you compare it against the Goldwing and the Road Glide and the Street Glide and the Indian Challenger, which I would see as all of those are the most direct competitors, when you look at the wet on the road weight, this is by far the lightest. I think it's something like 714 pounds off the top of my head. I'll probably put something on screen to show the weight differences, so don't be put off visually if you think, oh, it looks heavy, because like the Goldwing as well, it's carrying its weight very, very low, and that really helps. If you're short of leg, you're not going to find the weight of this a problem. If you're used to big bikes, you know, if you're used to big bikes in the main, you're not going to give it a second thought. This guy wants to come across. I'm going to let him. Another late minute turn. This guy, honestly. These parts down here at the bodywork at the sides fold out and they direct cool air onto the rider in the summertime, and I've tried them when Jerry had his K1600 in the summertime, and also on previous year models when I've ridden them, and they do work extremely well. Feel quality, sturdy, and they do deflect a fair amount of cooling air to the rider, which is very welcome in the summertime. I think we're going to do a bit of freeway soon, and that'll be good because I really want to try this lower screen. The lower screen always looks cooler on a bagger, and is very welcome in hot summers that Georgia gets, for instance, where you want that airflow. But equally, to get places you often have to take the freeway, and it'd be good to see what it's like at speed, to see how much buffeting you know, it's creating. It is a long way, it's low, but it is a long way ahead, so when it's down you're getting plenty of airflow. I can feel that on my chest already, and when it's up, because it's a long way ahead, I'm kind of hopeful it might just deflect the air above my helmet or to the top of the helmet when I get on the freeway. Now these handlebars, the tubular version is standard, but also the bars that you'll get, say, on the RT, which are the kind of the alloy winged type silver design, you can have that fitted to this free of charge. So if you want that option, you have to kind of tick it or tell the salesperson you want it when you're ordering your bike, and you can have that as standard. The seat is very comfortable, sublimely comfortable, but still not quite as comfortable as the Goldwing, I don't think, in my personal opinion. So the Goldwing DCT I rode a few months ago, I would say that has a bit thicker padding as standard. The over the seat might be slightly better with this though, and it's all relative because, you know, this is way better than 19 out of 20 bike seats, I'm sure. Now, being a BMW, you have the generic switchgear instrument cluster. You have this scroll wheel here, and by scrolling that wheel up and down, you can go through the menus and you twist it left and right to select what option that you want, and it's very robust, very smooth, very intuitive, and just works basically. So very, very nice. You've got your cruise control up here as well. You've got a single button for your turn signals, and you've got your spotlight button here, and also your riding mode button on the right hand side. In addition, you have reverse here, and I might get a chance to show that when I stop. I might not, it just depends, but essentially when you're in neutral, you select reverse, you hold the throttle open, it will trickle you back at kind of, you know, 3 or 4 miles an hour, and it works very, very well. And for a heavy bike, particularly if you're short of leg, it's very welcome. This thing is agile. Look at this, much more agile than I remember it, and I like that. That is good, because the last one I rode was Jerry's just before he sold it, and it had a worn out rear tyre, and it felt very lethargic to turn. This one doesn't. This one feels great. I don't know whether they changed the tyres, certainly haven't changed the geometry, and this one is obviously on pretty new rubber at 800 miles, but it feels great, and it's a good riding position. Your legs feel slightly more cramped than you'd imagine. Maybe that's because I normally ride an adventure bike, and the nature of this is it's more custom bagger type thing, but obviously a modern one. Build quality and fit finish is brilliant, as is typical for BMW. Everything just looks like it's a quality finish and fit, and will last for a very long time. It's obviously got their proven shaft drive, and I think originally when this first came out 4 or 5 years ago, there was actually a recall for a minor problem with the shaft drive. They resolved that, and now they're bulletproof is my understanding. The headlights, not sure I mentioned the headlights yet, again new for 2022, beautiful looking headlights. I'll put pictures up. Now, these are full LEDs, and they are cornering, so they will lean as you lean into the corner, so the bike has like a Bosch IMU. It will know what lean angle you're at, and it will adjust the lights accordingly, so you get a flat beam as you're going through bends. Additionally, it's super clever because I think it's up to 3 or 4 degrees. If you accelerate hard, which will lift the front of the bike, the headlights will automatically dip down by a few degrees. If you decelerate on the overrun, the lights will actually come up slightly, and that's going to give you a very uniform lighting, and very strong lighting of course from the LEDs, and they look beautiful. BMW in their cars particularly, but also their bikes, are always known for doing beautiful headlights, so very, very nice. In addition, this one is fitted with the floorboards, kind of almost like shorter highway boards really, and you can either have I think a version with a pocket here for storage, or you can have the floorboards. It's kind of an option when you configure it online. I'll let you use the configurator because that's always subject to change, as is the prices and the specs. But with my foot there, it feels pretty natural. It's still inwards in terms of airflow. I'm not going to get cold air on my knees, but if I want to stretch my leg out a little bit, get some airflow, blood flow going, it's kind of good for that. Keyless filler, keyless ignition, hydraulic clutch, and one thing I would say is greatly improved compared with previous versions is clutch engagement. It is significantly better than all previous Ks. I've owned some Ks like the K1600S for instance, and I've ridden this a number of times, and I've always found first gear, releasing the clutch, that a little bit jerky, a little bit clunky. Something you get used to if it was your bike, something you can kind of work around and allow for, but this feels totally intuitive. You know, this could be a Ducati or a Yamaha for instance, so that is one area they've quietly improved behind the scenes, and I'm very glad they have. That's kind of gone away. So when I kind of look at reasons to buy this, I would say BMW dealers are very good, build quality is exceptional, reliability is very good, It's low maintenance because you've got your shaft drive, you've got a big fuel tank, you've got an electric windscreen, you've got your options like your heated grips and all that usual good stuff. You've got very good safety features in terms of traction control and ABS. You've got your LED lighting and it's cornering lighting. So pretty low maintenance, 6k service intervals my understanding, and I think I'm right in saying 18k for the valves. The valves is going to be an expensive service because it's not that easy to get to them. So I would think if you're in North America you may be looking at like a $1,500 service for that, maybe, not sure. I think I'm right in saying 18k. I'll try and find that out and put it on screen. But other than that, you know, plenty of good reasons to own this bike. It's comfortable, super smooth, it's very agile, belies its weight. It doesn't feel like you're riding a big, you know, you ride something like the Road Glide and the Indian Challenger, you know you're riding a big heavy bike, particularly at low speeds. You can just feel that weight. I'm not saying that it's not manageable, I'm not saying that you can't turn a corner quickly if you need to, but you do feel the pounds. This just feels so much lighter. It feels more like a 500-pound bike to me. It's very nice. Not troubled the foot pegs or cornering today. It's not a peak of summer ride and it's a procession ride, so I can't really test that out, but they're definitely higher than the Gold Wings, for instance, and it will be less of a problem in terms of ground clearance. I think this will actually be a lot of fun on twisty mountainous roads. I know Jerry never seemed to get left behind when he owned a K1600B. Jerry actually picked up a new bike yesterday in Charlotte, North Carolina, and rode it home. I'll be doing a separate video on that to tell you what he's bought and whether he likes it and all that good stuff. There we go, going past the Indian Marietta, and we're coming back towards our dealer who's hosting today. It's Woolies of Marietta. Nice people in the main to do business with, very good mechanics. I do like the service team here, they're good guys. Lovely LEDs on the back of this bike as well. They're kind of like in a lightning streak design, and I really like that. So good job BMW, you've made what was already a great bike even better, and not made a big deal of it, but it's a very worthy upgrade. Nice machine, good job.
That was fun. I would never buy one. I mean, I just can't do that all day.
It's bad on your neck, I think. That's the worst bit.
But the bike is super smooth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey you, if you want to become one of the Ride On people, don't forget to subscribe. Ride often, ride carefully, ride on.